Welcome back to Tour with Joe. So today we're going to be going through the top 10 busiest London Underground stations. Now, there are probably a very few of you who actually want to spend their morning commuting into London with somebody cramped up next to you as you smell their smelly armpit. However, this tends to be very common when commuting into London, especially in the mornings, which we call rush hour, as many people rush to get to work. But which London Underground station is actually the busiest? So Transport for London actually release their figures each year to show which station is the busiest, and it's the footfall. So what they do is use the data from the entry and the exit barriers, as that tends to have the data for those tapping in and out. The statistics I'll be using is the latest data available. However, I have also included the previous year's data and also the rankings, so there's a fair comparison. As we all are aware, the pandemic really did impact the data and skew it slightly, as many people travelling into London didn't anymore as they were working from home. So therefore, adding the previous years is a really great comparison to see how the pandemic has changed the rankings of the busiest London Underground station. Top tip, if you don't like smelling someone's armpit, then I would highly recommend to avoid these London Underground stations, especially in rush hour. So in 6th place, we have Liverpool Street Station with 16.27 million journeys made in 2020. In comparison to 2019, Liverpool Street Station also ranked number 6, however, with a 67.2 million journeys per year. Opened in 1874, Liverpool Street Station is a central London railway and also a London Underground. The station is very popular among those commuting in from Essex, Cambridge or Norwich. The station is located in the northeastern corner of London and is very popular among those looking for a great nightlife, as it is very close to the famous Shoreditch. Liverpool Street Station is now served by the Central Line, the Circle Line, the Hammersmith and City Line, the Metropolitan Line, and is also located in Zone 1. In 5th place, we have London Waterloo, with 16.6 million journeys made in 2020. In comparison to 2019, London Waterloo actually ranked 3rd with over 91.3 million journeys made in that year. So the pandemic really did play a big impact in London Waterloo's footfall. London Waterloo is one of the busiest railway stations in the whole of London and in the UK, as it follows the busy London Underground, where many people use London Waterloo to commute to work. As well as being one of the busiest underground stations, London Waterloo has one of the biggest floor spaces of any railway station, and also has the greatest number of platforms located in a railway station. The underground station is served by the Northern Line and the Jubilee Line, and is walking distance from the famous London Eye. Waterloo is located in Zone 1. In 4th place, we have the famous King's Cross St Pancras with 18.8 million journeys made in 2020. However, many of you may be surprised just how low this number is, as in 2019, King's Cross St Pancras saw over 97.9 million journeys made in that year, ranking it the number 1 station. The London Underground station serves 2 major railway stations, St Pancras, which is a major railway station for coming into London, and also King's Cross, which serves more local and regional services. And just to add a little bit more chaos into the equation, King's Cross St Pancras is the interchange for 6 London Underground lines. As a result, the Underground and the railway stations have gone under some major reconstruction and redevelopment to accommodate the growing demand. So, for comparison, let's compare it to the least used underground station, which is Reading Valley, with around about 368,000 passengers visiting each year. For every 1 passenger travelling through Reading Valley, there is around about 266 passengers travelling through King's Cross St Pancras. King's Cross is located in Zone 1. In 3rd place, we have London Victoria, with 23 million journeys made in 2020. In comparison to 2019, London Victoria was also an extremely busy station, with around about 79.4 million journeys made each year. That would rank it number 2 in 2019. London Victoria is known for being very busy for its local bus routes and its famous coach station, as well as its very busy underground station. If you do want to catch the underground in London Victoria, you can catch the Circle line, the District line, or the Victoria line. In 2018, London Victoria saw a massive redevelopment. £700 million went into the station to double the size of it, and also to add step-free access throughout the whole station. It is not a surprise to see just how busy London Victoria is, and is also located in Zone 1. In second place, we have London Bridge, with 24.72 million journeys made in 2020. In comparison to 2019, London Bridge actually scored ranked 5, with 69.1 million journeys made in that year. London Bridge, opening in 1836, is not only one of the oldest stations in London or the UK, but actually one of the oldest stations in the world. London Bridge serves as a station for those commuting in from Kent and Sussex, and also sits on the Thames Link line. If you are travelling from London Bridge, you can hop on the Northern line, which takes you directly into the city, or you can hop on the Jubilee line, which takes you directly into Canary Wharf. There is no surprise why London Bridge is so busy, with those two amazing lines that take you into such a busy commuting places. There is no surprise why London Bridge is so busy. With the Northern line taking you into the city, so many commuters hop on that every day, and also the Jubilee line taking you into Canary Wharf, which is the heart of London's banking industry. So let's get on to number 1. Let's have a drum roll, please. And taking the top spot for 2020 is Stratford, with 25 million journeys made that year. In comparison to 2019, Stratford only ranked number 7, with around about 64.85 million journeys made that year. It is a big surprise to see Stratford moving from number 7 all the way to first position. But I guess not many people were commuting to work, and Stratford is still a station that interlinks you into the whole of London. For people travelling in from Kent or East Anglia, Stratford is a key station that allows you to connect into London. From there, people tend to jump on the Jubilee line, which takes you into Canary Wharf or South London, or on the Central line, which takes you into the Bank or Central London. Stratford has seen some of the biggest redevelopments of any station in the whole of London. In the last 20 years, Stratford has moved from the old industrial area it once was to an up-and-coming and sought-after location where many people are not only living, but they are also using the station to interconnect the whole of London. And Stratford is located in zones 2/3. And one station that did miss the top 6 list of the busiest London Underground stations is the famous Oxford Circus. Many of you would have heard of Oxford Circus if you love shopping and retail therapy, as there are some major international shops located in Oxford and surrounding areas. In 2019, Oxford Circus saw 78 million journeys made, taking the 4th ranking. However, in 2020, as the pandemic hit and many people were working from home and also shopping from home, Oxford Circus saw a dip to 14.6 million journeys made that year. It will be very interesting to see the data released from Transport of London for 2021. Do you think that the pandemic has changed how people are working? For example, many people are now still working from home and working remotely, and therefore just not commuting into the city like the old days. Or do you think that because of the pandemic, many people will be looking to rush out, whether it's shopping or getting back to their lives working in the city? And therefore, we're going to see some massive numbers that we've never seen before. Let me know in the comments down below of your favourite and most disliked station, and also if you've had any experiences of commuting in London at one of the busiest underground stations on this list. Please do like and subscribe to my channel, it really does support, and I'll see you in the next one.